Hi guys, how are you? I'm back today again with Mr.
George Date.
George Darte. As you know, we brought him a couple of segments ago where he talked about relationships, dealing with a lot of coupleship issues. So today I want us to talk about triggers. As you know, he's in the pharmaceutical industry. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just tell us a little bit about what is the pharmaceutical industry before we even go there.
The pharmaceutical industry, I would say, basically is about the production and the dissemination of medications. So it is like probably I consider that the heartbeat of the medical industry because it cuts across not just the Western medicine but also traditional medicine, and you can see the illicit medicine, if you can put it that way. So
Wow.
the pharmaceutical study sort of covers all of that: the production of it, the business aspect of it, the medical application of it. So anything that it is to is medicine, you have the pharmaceutical industry involved.
Okay, great. So nowadays, I mean, we live in America, in the United States, New York specifically. We find that a lot of people are on these drugs, right? Opioids, so to say. And then we are finding that a lot of them are not really getting them through regular doctors. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How is this really happening?
It's happening for, let me say, before anybody will move to acquire a medication,
Uh huh.
then that person is acting on an information. So for most of them, it is based on poor information or poor knowledge that they acquired. That's the first step. And as they move to get whatever they want to get, the accessibility has to be facilitated by an individual or an institution. So, and believe it or not, most of them, even though the medication is not what they need to get, they're
Yeah.
actually getting it from, shall I say, a professional,
Oh,
either by
okay.
prescription or another type, but there's always a professional in that chain of supply somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh, so somewhere there's a professional there that is facilitating the access
yeah,
to
to that
these
medication.
medications. Um, so for people that are out there that probably just hear a source to say, oh, you could take this medication, it will do you well, but they're not really going to see an actual physician. They are doing it by word of mouth, maybe because their friend or family member said it. What would be your advice?
My
Uh
advice
huh.
is to first, like I say, it doesn't matter who speaks to you. It could even be a doctor. I would advise you go for a second opinion from an actual professional. So that person will either affirm that information or give you an alternative that better suits you.
Okay.
Because you may be in a condition, what works for Mr. A will not necessarily work
Work for
for
Mr.
you.
B. Okay.
So always seek a second opinion. That is what most doctors will tell you. Even if you trust that person, try and seek a second opinion.
So you're diagnosed with a certain issue. I'm just reiterating to make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying that make sure you seek a second opinion
Yeah,
because sometimes that diagnosis might not actually be accurate, right?
it happens several times.
Yeah, because then you could be stuck on medications that are really not supposed to be for you, especially sometimes when it's not working, and you feel something is not wrong. Because your body
Yeah,
can tell you, like you can feel it, like
your
ah,
body can tell you, and sometimes the medications you may have the same ailment, but the triggers, using your word, for that
yes, trigger.
ailment could be different from what. For example, let me use blood pressure. Somebody can have a high blood pressure because he has a high heart rate. Another person could also have a high blood pressure because they have a kidney issue.
Oh, okay.
So maybe if you say, okay, the person with the high blood pressure is taking the medication, maybe that medication is supposed to slow the heart rate. So what you need is a medication that will open up your kidneys. So the fact that both of you have the same high blood pressure doesn't mean the underlying issue is the same.
It's the same.
That's why
Okay.
you always need a second opinion to affirm that whatever action or whatever medication you are taking is the right one.
Okay. And so you just make sure you're taking the right medication, especially when it comes to those drugs that you can easily get hooked on. I think that's why they call them opiates, right? Can you
Um,
explain what opiates really is? Because I think I
they are
probably use it loosely, not
they are
understanding.
called they are called opioid because they mostly come from opium, the plant opium.
Opium, okay. Which is
So
strong.
from opium, they get morphine, codeine, or what's it called? That they are same group. So that group of medications are called opioids, and they are very strong pain medications. And because they are opioids, they are also very addictive
Addictive.
because
Oh, okay.
that same opium is used to produce heroin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically, morphine and heroin are like, should I
They are
say,
brothers,
siblings, twins, or something like
siblings.
that. Yeah.
Morphine and wow, because
Morphine, heroin.
morphine is what they typically give you in the hospital when you're having surgery
Yeah.
done, or when you're really really sick and they want to numb the pain and that kind of thing.
Yeah. That's
So
what they
you're
give
saying you
you.
could get pretty much addicted to that because it's made from opium. You're
Yeah,
saying.
it's made from opium. So
Okay.
because of the addictive nature of those opioids, they are controlled. They are a
Okay.
controlled medication. And for a state like New York, you cannot get more than 30 days supply.
Okay.
So after 30 days, you have to go again and again.
Get
So
a new prescription if anything. Okay.
that's where the problem comes in. Some people will take it, and within that 30 days, some actually end up getting addicted to it.
And then now you need it for a lifetime.
So that's when it gets so extreme. Some people actually end up intentionally injuring themselves so that they can be prescribed another batch of opioid. And
Wow.
sometimes people
Okay.
get addicted. There was a story about a man a lawyer actually, they told us this story when we were in school. A lawyer who was just woke up one morning going for a jog, felt some pain in his back, went to see a doctor. The doctor said he has to go for a surgery, had a surgery, they put him on opioid, and he became addicted. So
Wow.
never in his mind it's not as if he planned on taking it illicitly. But even though it was legal, it wasn't properly managed. It ended up having him addicted. So
Now
he
he's stuck on it
he stuck on it.
for life.
He eventually became like an advocate. I think he passed away a few years ago. So
So it's so important, you're saying, to know the drugs you're taking. That's what I'm getting from this.
you need to know the drug you're taking so that if it's something like an opioid, it has to be managed very well
And tapered properly.
because of its addictive nature.
Right. Because you could just be taking it because you're saying it's taking away your pain currently. But if you don't take care, then it's going to take away a lot of your freedom and privileges of life because now you probably won't be able to function
Yeah,
like later on
basically,
in the long run because you're
basic,
going to need it basically.
because another thing is the more you take it, the more you become, should I say, numb to it. So let's say in the beginning you needed one tablet to control your pain. At a certain
Yeah.
point in time, you will need two, you need three, and you get to a point they may have to maybe switch you from the lower opioid to
To a stronger
a
dose.
stronger dose because those lower ones is not working for you. Then at that point you are just working to addiction.
Yeah,
And
because you
you
know how
become
like we
dependent
grew
on it.
up like back home or something like that. You just hear, oh, this is a painkiller. Oh yeah, take them, you know. And then now you come to America, and then it's like, oh, you're in pain. Go and get Benadryl over the counter and that kind of thing. I was reading about this article 2 weeks ago, and then it was talking about how a lot of people take, like for example, Benadryl, is a night pill, or these Tylenol PM
Yeah,
to sleep.
just like, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you struggle to sleep. But then the study was saying you should not take it for a long time
You shouldn't.
because the scientific studies are finding that people are now getting a lot of problems and like from those drugs. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? Because we take it casually because you're just like, oh, I want to sleep. I'm tired. But before you know it, you are in another
Yeah,
world.
because it's kind of similar to the opioid, just that this time round, it's had to do with your melatonin, which is like,
Your
should I say,
sleeping hormones?
hormones, yeah.
Okay.
So if you take it at a particular, that's why they advise you, if you're going to take it, you should be taking it around a particular time.
Okay.
Because let's say, so that when to get to a point, your body will sort of adjust to it, knowing that, okay, this person sleeps at this time, so at that particular time, your body will start releasing those hormones.
Oh, it's like clockwork.
Clockwork.
Okay.
They call it the circadian rhythm.
Okay.
Everybody has it. So, like, if you take it indiscriminately, taking it this time, that time, like randomly, it gets to a point your body doesn't know.
Then you have a
There's no pattern.
confused circadian rhythm.
There's no pattern to what you're doing. So
Okay.
it will get to a point you'll be walking around, let's say 2 in the afternoon, then your body will just
Shut down.
You feel
Ah,
sleepy.
okay.
Maybe 3 in the afternoon. because
Like
you're-
randomly, you just want to sleep
randomly,
in.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you're taking it, so it gets triggered at random times. So
Oh, okay.
take it, like I said, it always has to be managed. So for something like sleep, you have to be aware of your circadian rhythm.
Okay.
So it would be better to have a particular time you sleep. So let's say if you sleep at, let's say, 8 o'clock, take it around 7:20, give you some few minutes for it to kick
To
in,
kick in.
then you go
Okay.
to sleep so that your body will know, okay. So your body will adapt. It get to a point you don't have to even take the medication. The body itself will start releasing those sleep
Releasing it by itself.
by itself.
So this is fair to say, like for example, if you're a person that probably struggles with sleep and you're using a lot of these sleep aids, don't abuse them because
No.
it can end up being messing with your circadian rhythm, like you're saying. So it's best to actually go see a physician so they
Yeah,
can find out
yeah, it's
like
best to
what's
see a
going on.
physician,
Yeah,
but then, like I said,
they'll prescribe another one.
like the pharmacy industry is like
It's a money making
it's a
business.
money making business. Like they
Yeah.
think about the money first, and if you are
Yeah.
somebody who is a chronic
User.
user, they see you more like a cash cow
You're a customer.
because they know that
You're not a
every month you
patient.
are coming, so they just milk it dry. Especially if you have a good insurance, then that's all they need. They just bill your insurance, they get their money back. So getting like it should be managed well. If you have a
Yeah.
physician you trust, go to that physician. Sometimes your friend's advice is not the best.
Right, because it will trigger a lot more other things, and then now maybe you might start
Yeah.
taking. Would you say that's the reason why a lot of people end up in drugs and stuff?
Like I said in the beginning, it works on information. The information you are getting,
Yeah,
is it the correct information or the wrong information? That information you are acting on could be the wrong information, and you can find yourself in a situation which
you can't control it
you can't
anymore.
control anymore.
Wow. Hey, this is deep. Guys, let's use our medication wisely. And even as you get the prescriptions, just read about what you're putting into your body. At least you won't be taken by surprise when all these triggers and crazy things are happening to you. At least you know what you put in, right? Hopefully, this was helpful. And George Darte, thank you. We always get
Thank you.
insightful information about medical industry. We call him our guru here at the church, New Direction Bible Temple, because it's like I'm like before I take the medication, I'm like George Date, what would this do to you? It's like me and my cousins. The way we were eating honey, we just thought honey was healthy, and we were eating it a lot. Spiking my own sugar. He said, "You no, 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 no. Please don't do that." So yeah, guys, look for professionals like him. They will educate you so you eat healthy and you stay healthy. Until we meet again, goodbye.